Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about socks. That's probably not going to be exciting to most people. But they're gear and they're important because they keep your feet safe. And that's very important for a person like me because I suffer from neuropathy, so I cannot actually feel most of my feet. So I have to make sure I put gear in them that's going to keep them safe and dry. Now, I had read about these online because they have a lifetime guarantee. Unconditional lifetime guarantee, and these are size medium. These are the hiking trek version, a micro crew. Cushions bottom of foot, which is a nice feature. They're made from merino wool. They're made in Vermont, so made in USA. There's a little lifetime guarantee blurb on the back. They talk about fine gauge knitting, moisture wicking, natural antimicrobial, performance fit. Now, one of the reasons I liked this is because of their fit. The shoe size in here, now the medium it runs to a, this is a European, UK sizing. On the 7.5 to 9, and then it goes up to the 9.5 to 11.5 for a large. Now, one of the things I'm encountering a lot of the time is that in many socks I've purchased is that the sizing is too big. So I end up with more sock than I need. Now I'm going to show what I mean by this. Now here's the sock itself. This is actually from a different colored model. This is which happens to be in the wash, which you just heard in the background. But here is it says darn tough across the toes, and there's a little hiking symbol on the ankle. And you notice the size of this foot. Now this is a sock that I would normally wear. Now this foot is much larger, and I end up with my heel being here instead of being here because this sock is designed to fit a range of feet that I am not. I have a 9.5, about a 9.5 in an American, depending on the boot. Sometimes, you know, or shoe, so you actually goes to a 10. Shoes are weird. Also, micro crew. So if I put the two heels together, you'll notice that this comes to here and this goes to here. Now, when I'm wearing my boots, which is my work boots, and I put these socks on, the top of the boot comes to here. So I've got this much sock sitting over the top. When I've got this on, because again my heel is not where it's supposed to be, and this stretches a fair amount, this ends up being over my calf muscle. I end up pushing it down because I don't need a box sock that comes up that high. So I end up with all this fabric that does nothing but get in my way. Whereas this sock just covers the part of me I need covered. It covers my foot, it covers the area that my boot touches, so that the boot is never touching my skin, which is I want to make sure I avoid. I can't understand how people wear shoes and boots and stuff without socks. I can't figure it out. I don't want those things touching my feet. Now, as far as the comfort goes, I cannot give you 100% opinion on that because, again, I cannot 100% feel my feet. But the parts of my feet that I can feel, these are quite comfortable. I can feel my ankles relatively well, and this feels quite comfortable on my ankles. Because it's a merino wool, it is a little warmer, but it is not too warm. And I actually plan on making the shift over the next few months to wearing wool socks a lot more than I wear now. I will keep these until they probably get worn out and beat. I've already lost one. This is actually a single sock that is left over from a pair because I actually had one of these wear out on me. I haven't owned this long enough to test the guarantee yet. I've only owned this about 3 or 4 months. But I only owned this one about 8, and I wore a hole through the toe. So these were less expensive. I mean, this is $20 for a pair of socks. That's not cheap. And I paid, I think, $15 for a package of 3. But in 8 months, I lost a sock. And so far, this has been wearing nicely, and it's very comfortable. So far, I'm very happy with my darn tough socks. and I'm looking forward to purchasing more. I actually have a second pair. In fact, I just finished in the dryer. I finished in the washer. They were a little limey color. This color, but there's more lime on them. They seem to have a little bit more material, but I think that might just be because I hadn't washed them yet. I tried them on before I washed them. So after I wash them, they're going to probably shrink down a smidge. I don't dry them. I only wash them. In fact, this sock is damp. It came out of the laundry a little while ago. And I'll put it back on the rack. But definitely something that I'm glad I've gotten into. My wife has been a fan of wool socks for years. Our drying rack, when I do laundry, is covered in her socks. Well, now it's covered in both our socks because we are both becoming big fans, or at least I'm becoming a big fan of wool socks. Now, I've been using wool socks for winter boots, the heavy boots I wear for like snow shoveling and stuff, for a long time. But now I'm kind of moving in them as a daily-to-day activity. Though in the summertime, I tend to wear the little ankle socks when it's warm outside. But when I'm at work, I'll probably still be wearing these because they'll wick the moisture away from my feet, they'll keep it safe, and they seem to wear well, and they're giving me a lifetime guarantee. So how can I lose? So there you go, folks. Darn Tough Socks out of Vermont.